I am alarmed by your use of time. The most precious thing we have, and you have the gall to spend some of it away from screens. Nobody could critique YouTube, video games, or TikTok as a waste of time. They get 10 billion views a day. That means everyone on the planet, plus the aliens, are in on it. Do you want to be unpopular? Do you want to be unpopular with the aliens? So let's talk about our hobbies. How have they changed over the years? Were productive hobbies invented by Satan? Is pleasure the best pursuit of all? And most importantly, how dare you? Let's start with what hobbies are. Hobbies are a saving grace and escape for many. It's a top way we get to choose what we do in life, or at least that's what you think if you're a coward. In fact, a study found that 90% of American children and teens play video games. They play an average of 2 hours a day, with 1 in 4 young men reporting 4 hours a day or more, as opposed to the ostensibly better ways to spend our time.
Has groomers and their pups taking the stage and competing like never before.
It's an artistic expression. It goes all the way up in range where you almost can't tell it's a dog anymore.
Alyssa Kasiba and her poodle Ditto are the new kids on the block.
I've never seen so much joy stuffed into one clip. Fine, of all the things we need in life, this is absolutely of them. Hobbies are defined as an activity pursued for pleasure or relaxation and not as a main occupation. What's next? You're at work and your boss won't text you past 5 p.m. Your hobbies should look silly from the outside. That's kind of the point. They're silly, fun, and if I wanted job 2 electric boogaloo, I'd work at Panera Bread. Money is clearly the only thing worth pursuing. Life is not about balance. Clearly. But fortunately, to the salvation of us all, or at least me personally, companies are incentivized to make our hobbies addictive and ruin that balance. I call this life-saving process the Dorito effect. It's named after how, at one point, Dorito chips re-engineered their flavor formula so they barely don't satisfy you. It's not so cheesy that you stop eating, but it's just cheesy enough so you always want more. And you know something is delicious when they call it food with a flavor formula instead of a recipe. Oreos do something similar. You always want more. You chase that Oreo dragon. And while you can probably guess that moderation is always a bad thing, the bottom line is we should discuss addiction. One study shows that 35% of people have an internet addiction. Another, that 85% go online daily. 60% of teens show signs of cell phone addiction, and over half of us believe we're addicted to our phones. Everyone's doing it, so what's the problem? How do we get here? Let's run through the past 50 years. How did video games turn from a boring, loso, lame activity into the Chad high-intensity shit they are now? Well, imagine the year is 1972. Pong has been called the first commercial video game. Now, there was a console called the Magnavox Odyssey that came out with a ping pong game at the same time, but it wasn't called Pong. Sorry, popular kids only, you're not Pong. Then, arcade games. They became social hotspots in the 70s and 80s. The Atari home console came out in 1977, and for my younger viewers, a home console is like an Xbox or a PlayStation or a Switch. There used to be more than 3, but I think that 3 is just like a really cool number. So the other companies all got together and said, hey, how chic would it be if we just went out of business so there could only be 3? Anyway, then the Nintendo NES came out in 85. Had to mention it, let's actually hang out there for a second. Home consoles have been popular for like 40 years. Coincidentally, same time the word nerd was popularized. Nerds weren't cool back in the day. In fact, they were people who got shoved into lockers and whatever caricatured shit this was. I mean, this show breaks down each stereotype of a nerd into a character. One can't talk to girls, another lives with his mom, one of them is book smart but street dumb. It was an eerily accurate way to view every single person who chose games as their hobby. Since it was so accurate, we kept characterizing people this way through the Game Boy coming out in 89, portable gaming, online gaming in the 2000s, the internet, and that's where we have shifted a bit. Because I don't know if you've noticed, but Roblox and video games are freaking popular. And it was right around the 2010s-ish when streaming became popular, which focuses, I would say, not on the games, but on chatting, talking to the streamer. Streaming is watching a person play video games online rather than playing them yourself. And there's a live chat where you can talk to everyone else who's also watching this person play video games, and suddenly, Among Us is cool. It's almost like the point of hobbies is sometimes not the thing, but the people we bond with doing the thing. So long as we discuss the books we read on TikTok, that's popular kid shit, as opposed to back in my day, reading a book in the corner of the lunchroom like a nerd. Take other hobbies like watching football. We care about the Detroit Lions or our high school football team with our friends in the stands. For many people, football is about bonding with the other people who like football. But it's suddenly weird when we find Buddy the 38-year-old at a local high school game and someone asks him why he's watching from the stands. Oh, is your kid on the team? Nope. Oh, did you go to high school here? Nope. Do you know anyone here? I just love football, man. And the point being that socializing is often the hobby, and that's absolutely not okay. You should not do things in moderation, and you should not care about other people. And that's what they say. Go hard, go home, and play video games. Watch YouTube videos, do nothing else with your time. Those are the best hobbies. It's like eating Doritos. If you eat a couple, you're good. If you eat 1,000, suddenly that's weird. But if you and your friends have a Dorito eating contest, eating 10,000 is kinda iconic. Does that mean that our hobbies have changed, though? Because there's always been non-social hobbies like knitting or going to the gym. What if someone's an introvert? And what about productive hobbies? Well, studies, unfortunately, they show that traditional hobbies are tied to happiness and well-being. Arts and crafts, games, gardening, volunteering, participating in clubs. These things involve creativity, sensory engagement, self-expression, relaxation, cognitive stimulation, all things you clearly don't need, but they say they're linked to good mental health and well-being. So we're going to ignore all of that and ask ourselves, why do we feel guilty playing games and TikTok? Is it any different from the kid who loves basketball, is good at basketball, and plays basketball all day? We can all be like Dwayne Wade, an NBA champ, 13-time NBA All-Star and Olympic gold medalist. He turned a hobby into his job. He had it rough as a kid, but basketball was his way up. And for a lot of kids, it's actually a similar dream with TikTok. Ignore the fact that the hobby of browsing isn't the hobby of creating and scrolling through TikToks, isn't the same as shooting and scripting and planning and all the things it takes to create good content, but that's okay. Like any steak chef will tell you, their job is literally just eating steak. But then the occasional dreamer will say they want to go viral. Kind of like they might want to be a celebrity. Like, I don't know, my dream is to be Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, so you want to go into acting? No, just the famous rich part. Well, with TikTok, you can just do that. All it takes, you have to record your day-to-day life, and hobbies, and you should just be interesting or hot enough to get rich and famous. That's literally it. The American dream. No need to focus on the skill of entertaining when every 24-year-old could just make faces in front of a phone, and it can be your career. Beautiful content, by the way, right here. In the worst case scenario, social media as your hobby is a place to build a community of like-minded people who share an interest. Something like Book Talk. You don't need 1 million followers, it's just a cool place to talk about your passion. How awful. Instead, you should try to organize a 100,000 person book club. All of you need to talk at once and give all of your opinions about the same book and then DM those opinions directly to the author. But when you aim to bring together 1,000, 100,000 people, look, that's too many people. I don't feel the mental health and well-being benefits typical of a hobby when I have to listen to 100,000 people talk. That's called a job. Ask any content creator who has done this for a living, for any amount of time, and you'll hear the same thing. It becomes work. They call it the social media treadmill. Streamers might have to stream for 10 hours a day. YouTubers can't take a day off or they're screwed by the algorithm. And that's why it's important to differentiate between an enjoyable job versus a hobby. And in that way, hobbies have changed. They've changed because we didn't need to make a few extra bucks from your arts and crafts project, but suddenly everyone realizes they can, and Etsy is formed. Meanwhile, anyone who used Etsy as like a real source of income, they struggle to compete. So if you've learned anything from this video, it's that every single one of you is wrong. Everyone is doing something horrible and awful no matter what you choose for your hobby. It's just important to acknowledge that, so that when someone says it has anything to do with the system we live in or the incentives of capitalism when we choose a hobby that has to be a side hustle, we can tell them no. When it's addictive game design and things for TikTok, YouTube, video games, it is personally your fault. There is nothing we can do. Shut up. So to summarize, the key to a healthy hobby is moderation. It's rare for socializing to be problematic because it's kind of what humans are meant to do. So if that's why you commit to a hobby, it's probably not a bad thing. If there's pressure to succeed, to go viral, or make a side hustle out of it, that's probably not a hobby. Call it what it is, an enjoyable job. Because imagine stealing the job of someone as happy as this.
Minimal creative grooming, like just coloring ears and tails.
Kat Opson is a legend in the industry with over 20 years of experience.
This is Indiana Jones. I've been on Jimmy Kimmel, the cover of Groomer to Groomer magazine. I've taught creative classes.
And today at Super Zoo, she's going up against the top creative groomers from around the world for that first place spot and a cash prize of $2,500.
Thank you, that's the show. Hey, let me know what you think in the comments. I want to know what you like, what you dislike. I'm going to be experimenting with different voices, personalities, different ways to entertain and inform you all. So if you comment, it'll help me out. Let me know what you want me to do, and it'll help the video. So thanks. See you in the next.